All right. We are back. We're going to try this again. My apologies, everybody. Technical difficulties. But we have a very special guest for the interview today. Um, it's been shared out, broadcast being shared out. And like I was saying, go check out the partners DPW, KCW, ASW, VCW, SCW, 3Dub, IWA, NLPW, GMW, also CLPW, BUW, JSW, XPWF, AOWE, BGW, GEW. You're all good, sir. Technology is not always our friend here, especially on Facebook Messenger, I tell you. Whew. I did send out the invite to you, so you can join when you're ready. I did send it to you, so it says adding. Yeah, it says adding you, sir. You could join in whenever you're ready. Very strange. It says no answer from the Facebook Live guest. I'll send it to you again. It says you couldn't join because of technical issues. Welcome, Bradley Scott King. I Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me better?
Yes, sir.
Uh, I'm just gonna put my phone down because I don't like doing the camera thing.
Okay. Okay. That's totally up to you, sir.
Well, no, my other phone was acting up. I had to switch phones, but
Understood.
I'm here.
Hey, it's good to see you, sir. It is a true honor to have you on here. I know we've been trying to get you on here for a while. Glad we can finally get it down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, when I got promoted at my other job, my schedule changed a lot.
Hey, that's understandable. Hey, man, happy on the promotion though. Happy for you.
Yeah, but anyway, I am ready. I've been watching everybody else do this, and I figured, you know, like you said, it's been a long time coming, but I actually think it's a perfect time to do it. I'll let everybody else go and listen to what everybody else had to say and stuff like that. So, I got a few things. Now,
Hey,
depending on
we're happy to hear it.
depending on class, it's depending on who answers them. So if you want something from Mr. Davis, no problem. You want something from Frost, good luck. Um, so,
And yes, speaking of them, what I am believed to know, you have Davis, C.J. Frost, Kaiva, and Abigail.
uh, I have a few others as well, but those are the main ones. Actually, Abigail's name has been changed because a lot of people were, oh, it's not really a Japanese type name, but they forget that Frost isn't really Japanese either. So, you know, I went with something different. But yes, those three. And I actually just introduced Abigail, um, maybe towards the middle, the end of 24.
Yes, I do remember seeing that, and she is the daughter of Frost and Kaiva. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah. So their story's a little out there. Um, I started doing Frost wasn't always like that. I was just like everybody else. Have you that you interviewed? I too came from BPKA. Actually, I was there when he started, and Frost
Really?
never looked like. Absolutely, actually, I was. It was right during COVID, and 20 had 20 was already out, and despite everybody else, I tried to like 20. I even got the new system, and it played a lot better on the new system. But I was doing videos, and I was learning how to do videos, and the guy messaged me and was like, he wanted to know if I would join his league. So sure. At the time, Kyber's name wasn't Kyber, it was Sonya Daniels, but he already had a Sonya on his roster. So that's when I came up with the Kyber character. And we were there for a while. Um, I guess where I met Billy D, I met Omar, I met Rush Marshall, and I met the infamous Mr. Blade. I'll touch on that in a little bit as well. And I hope he's listening.
Wow, that's a whole lot of history there, Freaking. So, if you would like to tell us, since you said that there's a lot of history with Kaiba and Frost, can I please get the backstory of where they come from when they started to who they are now?
Okay, so I was really into what I am. I'm a big Star Wars. I'm a big Mortal Kombat. Kind of like Tekken kind of person.
Yeah.
And uh, basically, they are from Outworld. They were gladiators and fighters in Outworld. They served as High Justice. Kaiba was a little brass more than Frost was, and which got them into a lot of trouble. Um, got her tongue cut out, and
Oh,
they decided to leave. The only way they can leave is they had to make a deal with a monster, which everybody knows I wear the octopus as the Cthulhu. Made a deal with the monster to get us out, but I tricked them and I locked them into my mask. Uh, opened the portal, fell out. The first place I fell was the living room of Mr. Davis, and that's how they all came together. Technically, they're not brothers, but they have been together long enough to call themselves brothers.
was Davis or Frost older than the other? Was it like a big brother, little brother mentality?
Um, Time moves differently where they're from, so they are
Okay.
like they're like a couple 100 years older, but Davis is a lot wiser. He's a little older, like look wise, he's a little older, but in return, they taught him a few things as well, and that's when I came up with at the time PCW. It was a company that Mr. Davis had acquired. Ross ran the dojo. We had some. That's when we started branching out with other people. Rob Anderson, KCW. Uh, Rob Anderson actually was part of my promotion as a tag team, one of the longest reigning GCW tag teams ever. And then he wanted to do his own thing. KCW came around, and that's like our second home over there as well. So we've been through a lot of stuff.
So, what brought them to wrestling exactly? What drove them to come to the wrestling world?
After Mr. Davis acquired the wrestling organization, they were wanting to help him. So they had to make a deal. There was no killing. There was just strictly entertainment, and that's when I left BPKA. I had gotten another job. I got wanting to work more hours. I had to part ways, and but what I did was I had him out in other leagues. BWC is also a second home to us. John Sanchez. He actually helped me develop Frost. Like he gave me that spotlight to do that. He's been a very big supporter. He actually let us host one of our championship matches on his autism show that he did a while back. That was cool. And yeah, he's been around. He learned a lot of things. He brought everything back to PCW. He changed to Dragon Pro, and we never looked back ever since.
Now, acquiring Dragon Pro, since we are
Mm-hmm.
on the subject of it, what
Yeah.
separates your promotion apart from others?
So a lot of promotions, whether everybody likes to admit it or not, we all kind of do some of the similar things, but there's a lot of things that makes us our own individual thing. I like the Japanese style. I've watched a lot of Japanese stuff. Actually, during COVID, I actually stopped watching WWE for a very long time, and I focused on like British wrestling and Japanese wrestling. I watched a lot of that stuff, and that's how I wanted to do it. Like I looked up, the time length of their matches, the rules of their matches, and I wanted to do something a little different.
So
And then
you
also
wanted strong
to
style.
absolutely, but at the same time, I wanted it to be fun. So like I don't limit people to like, I've had some believe me, I have some crazy characters on the roster, and I want people to have fun, express themselves, and just like I said, have fun, but within a reason as well, because I had to say no to some far out stuff as well. Mm.
That's understood. Understood. How do you balance the business and creative aspects of running your promotion?
Um, Gotta have a good team. I didn't do this by myself. I didn't do any of this by myself. Actually, be honest with you, in a way, in my beginning, I was gonna quit. I didn't want to. I was like, I started getting like frustrated and bored and stuff. And this was before I even started the company. I just didn't want to do it anymore. And Billy D talked me into staying, talked me into doing, to keep going and to keep pushing. And then later on down the line, because I always look at it like this as well. You always got to be the villain in somebody's story, and I've been the villain in a lot of people's stories to the point to where I ain't want to do it no more again. And then um, Jay Brown, Mr. Hitman, and Mr. Shockwave, once again, they talked me out of it. So like there's been times when like you just gotta find that balance, and I had to put together a good admin team and a good team to help me balance everything, so I don't have to do everything. In the beginning, I did everything, and now that I have like my admin team that's been around for like ever, you know, they have just as rights as everybody else. Like if I'm not around, they handle business as they see fit, and it works better that way. I back them up, they back me up, and that's how we do it.
Big respect there. Big respect there. I do want to take a minute to go to the comments here and say hello to the people that have shown up. Pretty Too Shiesty, thank you. Mr. Whitlow, thank you. Dev, and he also has a question for you. Lizzie, hello. Nathan, hello. Fiendish Ways, this is Mr. Davis's live. Maybe we could get you in for a live of an interview of your own sometime. And Mr. Dev had a question for you, Mr. Davis, saying, what is a match you want to see sometime soon?
Hmm. He knows what I'm getting at too, and Devil, and I know he's gonna laugh when I say this. So a while back, Kaiva and Alexa Rain had some words a while back. Alexa Rain was, and you can say whatever you want, Debbie boy. You can actually come up if you want to, if you're not scared. Then Alexa talked a lot of shit about Kaiba. Kaiba talked a lot of shit about Alexa, but Alexa couldn't go nowhere because she was stuck in the sugar water cult. And while she was stuck there, Kaiba went around and did the same thing that she did, owning other promotions. They always talked, but never had a match. They finally had their match, and Kaiba won the first one. They're destined to have a second one, and the challenge has already been laid out there. You know, we talked about it for a minute. certain things had happened, roadblocks or whatever. Things happen. But eventually, that's one match that I want to see. Now, I do have another one I want to see too, which, by the way, is also brings me back to what I said about Mr. Blade. Uh, Mr. Blade and Frost have unfinished business. Mr. Blade and Frost go way back. They were on the same team at one point. Mr. Blade had a lot to say uh, about Mr. Frost when he was also stuck in the sugar water cult over there. Now he's over here, and the talk is over. So we're gonna see what happens. A lot of these matches will take place. A lot of some other matches. Uh, Now characters that are not mine, I like to see a good match. I want to see Eddie uh, in some high profile match. He's been around for a minute. He's been well deserved spotlight, and eventually I think he's gonna get that.
Very strong words. Thank you, Mr. Frost. Thank you. Um,
Hmm.
Apparently, people want to see Briggs versus Davis, which Briggs versus Frost. My apologies, is what Fiendish
Ah,
Wade said.
okay. So let's touch on that for one little second.
All
Briggs
right.
versus Frost. First time they met should have been a little bit bigger than what it was. I will admit that. If you will admit that there was a little bit of bumps in the road, but we finally got there. The Frost won that one. Second time they had a match in, in KCW for KCW title and the Royal Fighting Championship. Briggs walked out of that one. They're 1-1. They need that rubber match. And Briggs has something that Frost had before. Now, when I'm done with my business with Mr. Blade, um, I've noticed no one's really making. A lot of people can make claims that they want that title shot, but I don't see anybody really stepping. Actually, there's one person that has a title shot, and that's Shockwave. Shockwave has a title shot, but Shockwave and Briggs are in the same faction. So we'll see what happens there. But Briggs versus Cross, that's definitely going to be somewhere in 2025. Definitely.
I think the fans would love to see that. I most definitely know I would love to see it, and I think everybody else would be hyped to see that too. Um,
Absolutely. I don't see the comments, so if you see something that I need to know, just tell me.
oh, you don't see the comments on your end?
I'm not looking at my phone because I can't turn the
Oh,
camera off. I don't like just looking.
understood. Yeah, yeah. Comments that are coming in. Frost has business with me coming up in 2 different feds. That's from Buster.
Buster. Yeah, we have unfinished business, and Buster's a fun opponent because you never know where it might go. There's people I enjoy getting in the ring with, and there's people I'm just like, oh, really? Come on now. And Buster's one of those that I like to get in the ring with. Buster, Briggs, um, Leo, Big Lou, Anderson. I like getting in the ring with those guys because it's fun. No matter who wins, it's always going to be an interesting match. And now that, my new thing with Frost is I've done all of that. I faced all of them. Now I'm doing the rookie challenges. I want new blood, rookie, somebody who thinks that, you know, they can hang with me. I've had a few matches like that already, and I won. But there's a few of them that actually deserve that spotlight. And what better person to give them that spotlight?
Speaking
So
of,
that's my new,
sorry, what?
no. So that's my new thing. I'm gonna start giving rookies and people that have been under the radar. I want them to step out into that spotlight, and I'm a good person to give them that spotlight because who doesn't want to be the one that says they beat me before? That list is very short.
Strong words, strong words. And speaking of people that want to step up, I don't know if you faced him. Have you faced a Kane?
Who?
A Kane, fiendish ways. He says that he'll step up to you.
Um.
He's a he's part of BELS.
Oh God. Uh. Yeah, we'll talk. That could be possible.
Okay.
We'll talk on that. Why not?
Okay. Okay.
But
And
I'm not gonna
from
make it easy for you, and I'm not gonna make it easy for you too. So that means that if I make this challenge, you step up. That means you stepping into something of my choosing. I'm not gonna make this easy for anyone. Just because you answered the challenge doesn't mean it's gonna be a straight match. No, this is the
mhm,
Frosty
mhm.
challenge, baby. Get ready.
Big money grips can get the job done from B. More Johnson.
Big money, with all due respect, stop choking, and I'll take you seriously. You've
And you
had
have
a
people
lot of
looking
chances.
like they want to step up.
You had a lot of chances to have some gold around here, and I haven't seen you have. You have maybe one in a short range. Get your weight up. I'm the South American champion. I would take on anyone, anyone. Now, I have plans already at Best in the World, which, by the way, is our pay-per-view this Sunday. That's Best in the World. Which it will be Leo Blade and Athena versus Kyber and Frost. That should be a good one.
Oh,
That should be. Oh yes. I'm gonna try to have the match card out really soon. But I have some interesting matches in lined up for that match. Mr. Briggs is defending the King of Dragons championship against a practically undefeated Ricky Otunga, who's already beaten him once already. And that should be an interesting match as well. I have Emma Stone defending the Queen of Dragons championship against Akira, which was Abigail. And Akira had a chance to be the youngest Queen of Dragons champion ever. However, if she wins that match, it may be end up being Mother Barresa's daughter at Wrestle Kingdom. We'll see. There's a lot of what ifs going on in this match in this show. I have some returns coming in as well. So very interesting people coming back to Dragon Pro.
you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Stay tuned for Best in the World, brought to you by DPW. And as Mr. Davis was stating earlier, he is not alone, which I actually wanted to point it out, is that you guys have developed in brands and had brands come and go. What see, I believe you called your show not the Den at first, it was Nitro, correct?
So a while back, it was. I mean, I've had so many different names for shows. I've had Uprising. I had Thunder. I had Showtime. Um, I had Nitro. Then we went to the Dragon's Den, and then now we're back to Nitro. I'm gonna hold you. I'm being lazy. I didn't want to change my YouTube handle, so I just went back to Nitro. Because when I go into people's shows and stuff like that, and they introduce, Dragon Pro, Nitro, they always keep saying they're a Nitro show. So no, I'll just go back to Nitro. But then,
Understood.
yeah, like you said, we have all the shows under us now. We've had, I just had the dojo. First it was me and Trey Carter. He was running. I forgot his show. I ain't gonna hold you. But he was running a show and I was running the show. And then and McPhee came in with Titan. So we have Titan, Nitro. Johnny has the Chill Out Show. I don't know if he's gonna change that or not. He said something about doing that. Dev has Dragon Pro USA. And now we're gonna have Rail come in with Dragon Pro Face Off, and that's gonna be a very interesting show. After Best in the World, we will be doing a draft, so everybody should keep an eye out for that. We're gonna do it on the Discord. so everybody can see where they're going, and we're gonna post it on the Dragon Pro page as well. You know, everybody shows they're on and stuff like that. So we got some plans going on.
I can't wait to see it, and I know the fans can't wait to see it. And you also had a brand for a good while there called DPW Climax for another ladies show besides DPW USA at one
Yes,
point in time.
yes, absolutely. Mr. Calvin Rick, he ran a great show for. I mean, he came in with some great ideas. The climax was, you know, it was another woman show. Like so, um, Titan and USA was our quote unquote US shows. They were American shows, and Climax and the Den were our Japanese shows. So that's how we kind of had that going. And like Calvin did the same thing. He had Japanese styles. He had a lot of characters that were over there. Yeah, it was very interesting. And like, you know, I learned a lot from him. So, I mean, it was sad to see him go, but, you know, we wish him the best and, you know, just keep him moving.
Indeed, indeed. And speaking of, as we were talking about earlier, with new talent, how do you find and develop new talent for your promotion?
Um, I don't go looking for talent. Talent usually just comes to us. Like, I have people join from like just showing up on the live. I had people after doing um because I'm part of other people's promotions and stuff. So like a lot of our partner promotions, I always say my door is always open to anybody on their rosters that want to come through. So like the more partners I have, the more pool of roster people that that can come over, and vice versa. Like I always encourage my guys that haven't been to any of these other shows that they need to go over there and check them out. Like for instance, like IPW, IWA. You know, I recently joined IWA like a while, like not that long ago, but it was a while, and they're having fun over there. Like Mighty does his thing over there, like and then when people see us and they see certain characters, oh yeah, it shakes the things whether people wish them it or not. We shake up things, and that's what I like to do. I like to come in and shake some things up and have fun. Uh, Seymour, he does a great show as well. We've been over there. We shake some things up over there as well, and you know he's been doing his thing over there too. Definitely appreciate him coming around and stuff too. Uh, he's shown me some things. I've shown him some things. Yeah, man, it's all about having fun and being in a good community. So like, if anybody wants to come over and they want to have their talent shown, their creativity shown, I'm all for it. As long as you're down to have fun, and don't be a sore loser.
Indeed,
Yeah,
indeed. And two people you were actually talking about, the dog, Rob Anderson, and Mr. Mitchell have both shown up.
yeah.
And hello, Miss Jasmine. And Fiendish Ways just said another comment. When are we getting Kaiva Frost versus Dirty Diana? I swear we have seen that before.
So Kyva and Dirty Diana have history as well. They
Yes.
talk together as well. Dirty Diana trained in the dojo, just like Rob Anderson trained in the dojo. Like, and then when Anderson went off and did his thing and started his promotion, and Dirty Diana went with her, with him, it was always a mutual sportsmanship between the two ladies. They won matches together as tag teams, but they won. They fought each other and won matches against each other as well. Now they're at the top of their game. Now they're vets. And now, like, Dirty Diana has something that Kaiba wants. And I know sooner or later, Kaiba's going to have something that Dirty Diana wants. They're both on both shows on the same roster. So it's only a matter of time. They have had their championship matches before. They even had a champion versus champion match. And I
Wow.
believe Dirty Dan in that one. I'm not sure. I know they had two matches. And I know she won. I don't know if she won both or she won one. But like for a while, there's been a lot of women that has been her kryptonite, and Dirty Diana was one of them at one time. Actually, Jay Ray was her kryptonite for a hot minute because no matter how much back and forth they talked, Miss Chocolate always put a whooping on her little ass. And I mean, like, it was kind of recently that she turned the tables a little bit. At the end of 24, she was, but for a very long time, Jay Ray was her kryptonite.
Well said. Well said. And freaking yes, I can. I love it all. Freaking thank you for this, Mr. Davis. Thank you.
Oh,
Um, what qualities do you look for in a wrestler when booking matches or storylines?
yeah. Interesting question. Actually, so what I do is I look and see who who wants it, who's the most active, who's cutting promos. Like a lot of people can do all of that, but also there's a lot of people that are like we all got lives, we all got things going on and stuff like that. So sometimes I'll look at my list and I'll be like, let me let me contact these two people and see if they want to do a story. Or sometimes, which I like doing a lot, I'll just go in chat and just start making trouble, and that's how I book matches. And then another time is I let y'all book the matches. The people who book the matches more than I have. Like I'll go in the chat and I'll just look and see who's talking shit. And all right, I'm booking that match, or I'll make suggestions about would you guys would like the match, and that's how I do it. Like they write the stories themselves. I don't really do much.
Understood. Understood. How
Hmm.
this one is one that I think I'm really kind of curious what you have to say about this one. How do you handle conflicts and disagreements?
Hmm. Most of the time, I bring it to the admin team. We talk about it. We do a vote, and then that's how we handle it. Sometimes I have to handle things. You're not gonna make everybody happy all the time, and
Yes.
some people are not like some people are not gonna like your choices. Some people are not gonna like the decisions and everything that you make, and that's fine because you can't please everybody. And I've been doing this for almost five years now, and it took me 3 years to learn that. So I tried. I tried to keep everybody happy. But in trying to keep everybody happy puts a lot of strain on you. And I got to the point to where like not everybody's gonna be okay with the decisions I make. Not everybody's gonna be okay with the way their character goes. That's why I always say don't be a sore loser. Because sometimes you're gonna take an L. It's just part of it, and it is what it is. I always say a good storyteller has a plan A, B, and C. So when you lose a draw, you gotta have something, you know, to say about it. Something in ready, ready for that. If you win, you got something to say. If you lose, you got something to say. I always have something to say. Win, lose or draw. I always got something to say.
Always making your claim no matter what.
Yeah,
How do you stay connected with the fan base and incorporate their feedback?
that's where the pages and stuff come from because I'll ask questions in the chat. I ask questions. I'll ask them how they feel about stuff. I show them things. I show them the titles. I show them the arenas. I ask them if there's anything that needs to be changed. I keep everybody in the loop of what's going on. And as long as you do that, you're going to have somebody that's going to be interested in what you're doing.
Understood.
Yep.
Now, with Miss Kaiva, I've heard that you've nicknamed her the Crazy Asian because she's nuts.
Everybody else named her that. She's been called the Spider Queen. She's been called the Spider Queen. She's been called the Little Firecracker. That's what Jay Sheree called her. Um, she's been called the 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 witch at one point. Um, yeah, her character development has been really wild. Like she had the Melina mouth thing for a hot minute. She was all pale and she had multicolored hair at one time. She wrestled barefoot, stuff like that. You know, yeah, yeah, she's been through a lot of different changes. But I finally, I got to think, I finally found a good base for her, and I just kept it that way for a while. But it took me a minute to find like something that was, you know, something that was going to be scary, but at the same time, uh, know that she meant business.
And reflecting off that, like when she does go in, how does it differentiate from Mr. Frost and Davis?
Davis doesn't wrestle. He's not a wrestler, so he's a straight business person. Um, but with her, she is she's she's more of a they have a similar style. It's just that Frost does certain things that he doesn't. He will take shortcuts. He'll do the low blow, you know, he'll spit the mist and stuff like that and whatever. He might spit the mist and whatever, but he won't like he tries to she's a warrior. She's a fighter. He's gonna want to do it the warrior way. He's not gonna want to take any shortcuts. But that doesn't mean he's not going to take that shortcut if it comes up. Frost will take that shortcut before he'll do anything.
If you can elaborate on what you mean by shortcut, if you can give an example.
Oh, and Frost will take Frost will take the count out. He will get disqualified. He will, threaten the ref. He will have, people come and take the turnbuckle thing off and stuff like that. She doesn't do that.
Mm, okay.
She
Okay.
she 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 believes in leaving you in the ring, beaten and broken is a warrior's way.
And speaking of warriors beaten and broken, you are part of a group full of warriors. Welcome, Mr. Woods. Alex Woods here. Um, you are part of a group called the Venom Club, which also went by the name the House of Carnage. Do you want to tell me where that all began? What started with the group? How did it all come together, and where did it end?
I knew you were gonna ask me about that eventually.
Well, like
So,
not end because it's still going. No.
oh no, I was waiting for it. So that how so the Venom Club wasn't always the Venom Club. And like I said, in Outworld, they were part of a group called the House of Venom, and the House of Venom was a very. I kind of got that from. Again, I'm a very I'm old. I ain't gonna hold you. I like a lot of old school Japanese stuff, and one of my favorite shows was the Five Deadly Venoms. So the Five Deadly Venoms were the different houses of Venom where I wrote that up at. And Frost and Tigra came from one of the House of Venom. That's why they used the snake and the spider and stuff like that. When they came to becoming a wrestling organization and doing stuff like that, I turned it into the Venom Club. Um, yes, they can say that it was a lot of people say I got the influence from the NWO. Absolutely not. Like I said, I watched a lot of New Japan, Bullet Club, stuff like that. Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I like that idea. That's how I did it. However, it's been a lot of um, misinformation about who actually runs the club, and a lot of people think Frost is the leader. He's not. I never said Frost was the leader. He would just assume he was the leader because he's the most vocal. He's the one that stands out and does everything. He's not the leader. Kaiba is the leader of the Venom Club. He's always been the leader of the Venom Club because in the beginning she was a face and nobody would expect her to do anything. But everybody hated me from the moment I walked in, and I used that as ammunition. I put all the heat on me so no one would see what she was doing. And then when I actually introduced the Venom Club, that's when I told everybody who the leader was. It was a very interesting thing. Before we were the House of Carnage, um, we were the House of Terror, and House of Terror was that's when I met Phil and Hitman and Shockwave. Yeah, then we started doing some crazy things. We was in an organization called FCW with Tessio and Jackson and stuff like that. Shout out to them and Rail. That's where I met Rail and Jason Surrey. And you know we wreaked havoc over there for a while. Um, we were it was a BLS Venom Club thing between KCW and DPW for a very long time. At the time, there was no other. There were other factions, but the two top factions were BLS and the Venom Club, and they went head to head for a long time. And BLS won that fight. Yes, I'm saying it now because I know he's gonna see it, Mr. Rob, Mr. Jag. Yes, they won that fight, but the war is never over, and it's always a friendly war, but a war nonetheless.
Understood. Well said. Well said. What drives you? What drives your passion for the wrestling and promoting you do?
Honestly, I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm a boring person. I don't do nothing. So like you can ask anybody. I rarely miss any shows. Like no one can say that I missed a weekend and stuff like that. I've been going ever since I started doing this. I've been going. I missed the shows here and there and stuff like that. And like I said, I plan on missing WrestleMania weekend. There will be no show. I'm gonna chill out, watch WrestleMania, and just whatever. You know, but that's when we're gonna do our draft and everything. But I like it. I mean, I have fun with it. When in the beginning I was doing it because I was looking at everybody's stuff, and I heard a lot about views and interactions and blah 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 and this that and the third, and I had to do this and I had to do that, and I did everything everybody told me to do, and I stopped having fun. It started becoming a job, and I didn't like it. So then I just said fuck it and started doing it for fun, and I've been having fun ever since. So
It's good. It's always good to hear that you're having fun.
as long as you're having fun with it, and as long as you're like you kind of like, I had to learn views come and go, people come and go. Everybody's not gonna like you. Everybody's gonna have something that they're gonna say about you, and fuck them. I don't care. As long as I'm having fun, they're not bothering me. I'm not bothering them. That's not fun.
Understood. No, I know we touched on it a little bit, but who is Abigail? Well, your daughter. Well,
Abigail.
Frost and Tyba's daughter.
So, so Abigail. So obviously, Kyber and Frost, they don't have actual children with them because Kyber was never really an actual person. Frost made her in the Sorcerer's Kiss and Outworld, and that's what he did with Abigail. But Abigail was at the time just like I don't know, she was kind of like just like there. So uh, um, I just stuck her in the school and left her there for a while until I could figure out what I was gonna do with her. And um, we were doing a storyline where Davis got set up. He was done. He decided to take a break and he just disappeared. So he put Frost in charge, and nobody liked it that he was in charge. Everybody hated it, because he was doing the whole. Remember you remember when Triple H and Stephanie took over? You remember when Eric Bischoff joined NWO and they ran
Yeah.
things? It was a story. That's how I was doing it, and a lot of people did not like my decision because I was doing that. Like I had to tell them after the fact that it was a story, that this, that, and the third, but They didn't like it. So Davis came back, and then he disappeared again. But this time, he put a AI computer in charge, and
Oh.
she saw everything. And that's where Lady Blue came about. Lady Blue was the AI. She would tell him everything, even though he wasn't there. She had more control than Frost did. And then um, we were trying to come up with some way of keeping Mr. Davis away, but putting somebody else in charge. And there was a lot of choices to put somebody in charge. And I weighed the pros and cons of putting anybody on the roster in charge. And there was more cons than pros for anybody. I don't care what they say. I couldn't put anybody on the roster in charge. So that's when I bring Abigail back. And I put her in charge because she was neutral. Regardless of what she did, she was going to be neutral. And what I did was I had Mr. Davis pay her a visit at the school for years to train her to run the business. So when she came in, she already knew what she was doing. She had Lady Blue as a backup, and Frost had no power. He had to do what she said. It was in the contract. So I did that for a while, and then we did a hostile takeover thing, storyline, and after that, I decided to make her a wrestler. So that's when I brought back Ian Davis permanently. Um, yeah, that's how she came about.
Nice, nice. Now, Lady Blue was just a robot originally. Did she come from Outworld?
That's where my thing for Tekken and stuff came out. So where they come from is kind of like a Neo Tokyo kind of deal. So where like
Oh.
their technology, their stuff is a little more advanced than what's going on now. So that's how it was like a um he, he was a role he was technically never really a robot. He was an actual person. It was just with a little bit of the Mortal Kombat stuff I was doing. I just kind of put her soul
Oh,
into
my mistake.
his hourglass, and like she was able to bounce around and stuff like that. But then when it came to actually putting her into a body, uh, yeah, we did some interesting things. I'm not the only. The roster's not the only one that's done some weird shit.
Understood. Um, have you always been a fan of wrestling? Like, besides the gaming stuff like the gaming wrestling that we do here, like, are you a fan of, like, who was somebody that captured you?
So, I'm gonna
You
see
said Japanese was the big one.
well. I'm gonna see how old I am. My aunt introduced me to AWA. I was scrolling through the TV one day and I found AWA wrestling, and it was the Road Warriors versus Ric Flair and Sting, and
Ooh.
that's when I started watching wrestling. Ric Flair, the Road Warriors, Captain Lou Albano, stuff like that, and then I found one night I was up and I found Saturday Night Main Event, and I was hooked after that. I watched all of them. Like to my knowledge, my actual first matches of wrestling I saw was I saw the match between Hulk Hogan and the Iron Sheik. I saw when Shawn Michaels kicked Marty Jannetty through the barbershop window. I've seen when when Hogan slammed Yokozuna and won the title. He threw that shit in the face. I saw Bret Hart and British Bulldog. Yeah, I've seen a lot. And
You're
back in
talking
the
about
day,
WrestleMania 9 when Hulk Hogan came out at the end, yeah?
yeah, I've seen them all. I watched the Undertaker. Like I've seen a lot of them. Like, but I was a WCW person. I was like Vampiro, the Great Muta, Sting. You know, people like that. Like Tank Abbott. People don't say anything about him being like a UFC fighter over there. Dan Severn. Yeah. Those I watch those guys. Stuff like that. Jushin Thunder Liger, Ultimo Dragon, stuff like that. Um, yeah. I was into a lot of stuff like that. Mm.
That's awesome. Um, well, we do talk about your characters. Um, if you had to pick five memorable rivals, by the way, hello Jojo. Um, five memorable rivals for Frost. Who would you say makes your top five?
You know what? I thought about this for a minute because I watched the shows and I listened to when you asked people this same question. And I had to think about this for a while. So my top five, I'm going to say from uh five from 5 to 1. 5 to 1.
Okay.
Um, One would be Uno. He was my first rival. Actually, like so when I won the BTK championship, like uh Uno was the first person that I had to fight, and I had no idea on how to do promos at all. And just working with him, he taught me how to do promos. He taught me what to say because I was a heel and I had no idea how to be a heel. And he was a face. He talked a lot of shit, so I had to learn to be a heel. So that was one of my rivalries right there. Number four, hmm, number four. I want to say number four would be Billy D. Me and him started off together. Uh, Billy D actually gave me my first loss. We had the same look going in, and the owner didn't like it, so we had a match to see. And the loser had to change their look. I lost, so I had to change my look, and that's when I started wearing like the blue gear and the frost, and I started making my own images and stuff. So yeah, Billy D was there. Um, Number three. Mm, mm, number three. Number three would be Wild Man. And I'm going to say Wild
Ooh.
Man because Wild Man at the time, I was BTK champion, but I was always the underdog. Everybody thought that everybody was going to just walk all over me. I mean, it's been like that for a minute. Everybody thinks that when Frost gets the title, they're just going to walk all over him. And Wild Man was no different. He thought he was going to walk all over me, and I capped him out. And I and he was a rivalry that we never really finished either. These are rivalries that I haven't finished either. Uh, number two, uh, number two, number two, I'll give to Leo Blaze. Like I said, we have history that people will learn about soon. We're destined to collide. Actually, uh, I'll give you a little spoiler. We're destined to collide at Wrestle Kingdom. So keep an eye out for that one. But to get there, the ride is going to be interesting. And my number one rivalry, number one dude, Rob Anderson.
Ooh.
Rob Anderson and Rob Anderson and Fry. Rob has said it himself. He says we're like Goku and Vegeta. We fight constantly. We're cool, but we fight constantly. We can flip at the top of a dime, and one of us is going to be the face, one of us is going to be the heel. He's more of a Goku because he's goofy and he likes to laugh and do kind of shit like that. Frost is more like a Vegeta. He's serious, and like he's going to call him a clown and stuff like that. But he knows that it can go either way, which is funny because it can go either way with them too.
Understood. Understood. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Um, what about for Kaiba?
Hmm. So even I can give you like at least four.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I can give you four. Jay Sheree, like I said, that was her kryptonite for a hot minute. They have history. They can go back and forth, and at any moment in time, they can put on a 5-star match. I've seen them put on better matches than some of the dudes. and that's in any promotion. When them two are on
Mm-hmm.
the card with each other, they always put on a better match than some of the guys they do. And I hate to be the match that has to follow them. Um, Another one for her. Actually, I'll give you five. Bailey Cruz. Because Bailey Cruz was a big thorn and Kyla's side for a hot minute too. He was another one. And actually, I'm gonna add Big T to mine. Me and Big T had a good rivalry. Frost and Big T had a great rivalry. Uh, Big T was my kryptonite for a hot minute too. You know what? I'm at AJ Woods to that as well. 'Cause AJ Woods and Frost can put on a 5-star match regardless of what company they're in as well. Um,
And Jack Graves in UF facing 5-star bangers.
Jack Graves is like when you look on the card and you facing Jack Graves, this one, I don't care who you are, even if you're Frost, you're like, oh god,
Definitely in
where's
for a
my pain?
working night.
Yes, Big Lou too. I have a couple. I have a lot of rivalries I like Big Lou. I like getting in the ring with Big Lou, and I know he's watching. Sooner or later, they're passing on across. Like it's been talked about before, but it's gonna happen. The Frost and JoJo, it's gonna happen sooner or later. I've heard this. I heard the whispers. I heard the people talking about it. It'll happen sooner or later.
I believe it.
Now,
I believe.
now you asked about Faber. Like I said, Jason Saray, Bailey Cruz, uh, Alexa Rain, because they just they just started to just test the waters to see where they can go. Uh, that still has a lot of ways it can go. And somebody that I haven't mentioned either for her, which is one of her greatest rivalries, is Chanel Baltimore. Chanel Baltimore is one of her rivals as well. And not that many people remember that when Tyler got injured and she was out for a while, Chanel Baltimore was part of the Venom Club. And she was Frost's right hand for a hot minute herself until she disappeared and Tyler came back. So Chanel Baltimore was also one of her rivals. Dirty Diana obviously is up there as well. Because, like I said, they have a lot of history between them two. And another rivalry that really never developed, but it actually happened is with her and Jessica, which is Jamie's character. Her Valley Girl, uh, latte Uggs wearing, Beverly Hills chick. Like they still have history as well. There's a lot of ways things can go.
Freaking. Well, since we are talking about Kaiba, do you know if you can give me 5 people that she wants to face that she hasn't?
And she hasn't faced. Mm, um,
Welcome, Mr.
she's
Briggs.
added. I've, I've added a. Oh Lord, you know what, Briggs? I'm gonna give you that one too. Cause he's been asking for this match for a while. He wants Kylo versus Amaya Bryant. So
Oh!
them two have never had a match together. Now, the only reason why that match hasn't happened is because neither one of them has anything the other one has. Bragging rights and stuff like that, that's above her now. Somebody wins the title, somebody wins the title anywhere, that match is gonna happen because that match can't just be just some regular match. That has to be a high profile. That's what I try to put them in high profile matches that mean something. So I'm actually, yes, Amanda Bryant is one of them. Somebody who she hasn't fought one on one before. Hmm. I mean, she's been around. She's fought a lot of people. So, I'll leave it up to the chat who they think that she should fight. Four ladies. If y'all think that she should fight.
Um, B. More did state that Kitty and Kaiba's rivalry was insane, unless you forgot.
Oh hell no, that was a good one that can be revisited as well too. That, that's another one that could be one. There was one chick he had over there called the Queen Bee, if you remember. That Queen Bee talked a lot of shit and Kyber took her belt. And then she tried to get a rematch and Kyber beat her in the rematch and she still talked shit. was actually kind of funny because we never really touched on that one either. That could have went a little ways as well. But I wouldn't mind seeing Kitty and Kyber going at it.
Apparently, your old friend Shay is watching, and Reagan Anderson, the sister of Buster Anderson, said, "I want Kaiva."
That's another match that hasn't happened at all either, and that should be that that actually can be a good one. That actually, depending on how the draft goes, she'll get her shot. I don't. We'll see what happens. Depending on how the draft goes, she'll get that. She'll get her shot.
Understood. What about for Mr. Frost?
5 people that he wants to fight?
That he's never faced. I know you said Briggs.
All right. So, like I said, I'm going to answer this as Frost. Okay? I don't want to fight nobody. If y'all want to fight me, y'all got to earn it. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you have done. I don't care what position you have. If you want to fight me, you have to earn it. You have to make me want it. I don't accept challenges, and I don't make challenges as well, unless it's best for business. So if it's best for business, I'm all for it. If not, make it interesting. So 5 people in the chat, go for it.
Apparently, 5 people in the chat that want
I knew that was gonna
step up to Frost. Anybody can make that challenge. Already a few people have throughout the live stream. A Kane, who he respects you from IPW and KCW is what he said.
Oh, see, and that's another thing too. I'm gonna say this too. If you come to me with respect and honor, I will treat you as a warrior and do the respect and honor. He's not always a dick. I'm gonna say that now. Frost is not always a dick. He will repeat. If you come to him as a warrior, he will face you and treat you as a warrior. However, if you come to him, if you're talking shit, if you're calling him names, if you're making type of threats, he's going to treat you like a child, and he's going to whoop you like a child, and he's gonna do whatever he can do to embarrass you. But if you make it an honorable fight, he's got no problem with doing it.
Jaden said, "See him in AOWE again for the Gladiator Championship. Y'all two had a good rival."
Yes, because he's been his kryptonite for a hot minute. I hate Frost has not beaten that dude for that title. I like that. He's making me fight for it. He's making me hunt for it. But 25 is a different story. And so far in these other leagues at 25, my record has been pretty decent. It always starts like that in the beginning, before all the patches come and everything. So I do really well. And then towards the middle and end, but yes, that was a great rivalry, and now things are different. The next shot that I get, I plan on taking that belt.
Well said. Speaking of promotions and stuff coming up, there is an event coming up, as you may know, for IWA Wrestle Madness, and you are booked at that show, correctly?
Yes, I am.
Do you want to tell the people what matchup you are in?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Well, do you have anything you want to say to your opponents at AOWE? I mean, not AOWE, IWA. Don't even know where that came from. Wrestle Madness.
What match am I in? I'm sorry, but what match am I in?
If I remember correctly, I saw you were on... Crap, it just blanks my mind. I hate it when it does that. It just blinks my mind now. I
see a lot.
Blanks my mind. I had it. I literally just had it. It just blanked my mind. It will come to me later, and I'll feel like a dick.
I just know one thing, IWA. I might not remember a lot of stuff, but I remember this thing and this thing only. I don't care who the champion is, I'm next, and I'm taking that shit. I don't care who the champion is. I might not remember a lot of things, but I remember I'm next. And I remember that I'm number 1 contender, and I'm taking that belt. Because in IWA, when I got there, Mr. BBD and Jordan Sparks had a lot to say about me when I got there. And I won some, I lost some, but I won a lot. And then uh, I remember a certain, if I win, I get a title shot at the tag team titles versus, and if I lose, my career is done over there. Well, I won that match, and I should get two title shots. But we won't talk about that. We'll talk about the world title shot because I'm stating it now. I don't care who the champion is. I get to pick one. So I'm just gonna sit back and watch. Because the one thing that people will learn is that I am an opportunist. Big Lou found it out the hard way over there in IPW. I'm an opportunist, and I took the Universal and the European Championship in one match. So
And
I
Lou was
take
holding
credit.
that European title for quite some time.
Oh yeah. Now, mind you, now Lou has one thing correct in there. It was none of my business. Everybody thought that I was gonna cash in on Briggs and Jack Graves and join that uh the Diamond Championship and all. No, hell no. I'm not getting in the ring with them with two big ass dudes. No, nope, no, I'm gonna take the easy one. I've beaten Lou. Lou is not, and I'll say this again. Lou is not a threat. Never was. Never will be. Um, he's beaten me a handful of times. I've beaten him in more spots than he has beaten me. As big as he is, get his weight up before he wants to see me again. And Icon had a lot to say about me too in the past. So I had to shut him up too. So yeah, I interjected myself in that match, and I took both their titles, and neither one of them can do anything about it.
Strong words there, strong words there. And you have backed up those words many times with the wars we have talked about. And we are interested to see where 25 will take you and the rest of your family. And as we talk about your family, Abigail, you said that you did not bring her in not too long ago, but like she's been still thriving. If you had five people that you wanted her to face that you really want to see, who would it be?
So right now, Abigail will be just feeling herself out. She needs to get out there. She needs to have more. She needs to get out there. Period. I haven't put her up and out there yet. I kept her here in Dragon Pro so I can get her 100% before I send her out there because you know her being the daughter of Frost and Tyler, regardless, he has a lot of big shoes to fill, especially from her mother's side. So like her going out there and having her first like profile matches, whoever wants to have fun, whoever wants to think that they like she's a cruiserweight. So it's not like she's like a big giant woman. So like, but she has proven that she can hold her own and especially in some matches, but we'll see because she has Emma Stone at at uh at best in the world. Emma Stone has beaten everybody who steps up to that title. And she has no problem putting Abigail down. Let's see, we'll see what happens.
Most,
Mm,
most indeed. And with the new added factors added to 25, you have a lot of stuff to play with.
absolutely. Like best in the world is like I. This is supposed to be like our one of our big shows. Um, After Wrestle Kingdom, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna look at the actual yearly calendar and plan out where I want to do like a big four pay-per-view where like, okay, those are our big four, but our other shows under us, under Dragon Pro, they all run their own pay-per-view. So it's like I might run a regular show on one day, but they might run a pay-per-view and stuff like that. So like, everybody gets a shot at doing their own thing. Um, I have a lot of specials coming up. I'm gonna do an all woman show. I'm gonna do a all cruiserweight show, which is gonna be the Super J Cup. Definitely gonna want to look out for that one because I have a lot of ideas about that one as
You,
well.
you said
And
Super J Cup?
Super J Cup, the Super J Cup, the Super Junior Cup. Yes, I can't really
Incredible.
make a I can't really make a cup So I'm gonna
You have to
do
make a belt, I'm assuming.
a belt, or I'm gonna make a medal.
Can't you do maybe like a King of the Ring type thing, maybe?
We'll talk about that because I'm the idea is up in the air, and I'm taking any ideas that I can find. So
Yeah.
if anybody has any good ideas, by all means, let me know.
Because if you're
But it's gonna
trying to do something like that, like I would suggest maybe they're the king of the cruiserweights kind of thing.
I like that. Yeah, I might have to do that. Absolutely. Maybe do like a men's and women's tournament, and then do a couple of tag team matches in there. Something like that. I mean, it's 25 is just starting. We got a long time to go, so we'll see what happens. Summer's coming up. I always do a summer PLE. I'm still getting used to calling it PLE. We got some things going on.
Indeed, you do. And we are all excited to see it. I know everybody else is as well. And we've touched base on Kaiva, Frost, and Abigail. And there's one person I know I kind of have touched base on a little bit in this interview, but have not touched on fully. Mr. Davis. Who is Mr. Davis?
Mr. Davis is, if you take Lex Luthor and put him in like Vin Diesel kind of person with hair.
With
He's
hair.
Yes, basically he's just that person. He's very smart. He's very intuitive on what things is going on. He's very business smart. When he bought PCW, it was a failing, rundown company, and he brought it to new heights by turning it into Dragon Pro. And when he turned it into Dragon Pro, that's when, because Mr. Davis, he's not dumb, he sees talent. And he has went around and signed a whole bunch of people. For some, like for instance, some of the talent that he hired. Actually, true story, Gorilla Cruz. I was surfing through the internet and Facebook, and I saw him posting a lot of his stuff. So I reached out to him, and I said, "Hey man, look, I like your look. I like what you got going on. Would you mind if I add him to my roster?" He was cool with it. We talked for a good minute, and then he asked me, "Did I have any characters?" I said, "Yes." I showed him Frost and Kyber, and he knew who I was. And Gorilla Cruz is a big deal. I see him everywhere. So for somebody like him to know who I am, yeah, I was, I was, I was beyond ecstatic. So I had him join. Um, BWC, Mr. Alexander Colt, another rival of Frost that was pretty cool. He had came over to Dragon Pro. GM Davis basically is the type of person where he'll do what's best for business, whether people like his choices or not. That's how he does it. He rules it with an iron fist, and he basically is like what's best for business, whether people like it or not. And most of the time, I say 95% of the time, he does what's best for business. And keeping Frost away from business is best for business.
Said, sir. Well said. Freaking, why does he choose not to do wrestling?
Because he believes he's like I'm just gonna I'm gonna put it out there now. If you see him in a match, it's because his hand was absolutely forced. But here's
Oh,
the kicker: he's never lost a match against Frost ever. Frost has never beaten Davis in a fight ever. So you wonder who is stronger than who.
has
But he,
there's one person I do need to bring up in that.
yep,
Mythic. Was he someone to have done that to him?
no, Mythic has been more of a headache than it. No, he's cool. Um, so,
You just say.
so like I said, him being um uh Lex Luthor type of intelligence and Frost being from Outworld, I came up with this little idea of having, you remember the old DuckTales cartoon? You remember the vault that Scrooge McDuck has? Mr. Davis has this thing called the vault,
Okay.
and like I said, I was a big Star Wars fan. So a lot of things that he have in the vault, it's not just money. It's items that he has collected that I had people come into my company that I needed insurance against. Um, there were people that came in that were quote unquote zombie monster underlord, whatever, whatever. Yeah, I got things for that too. Book of the Dead, the Q from Hellraiser, fucking
Pinhead?
the I have a lot of things in that vault that people don't know about. Um,
Oh.
when we did the storyline when this god Calypso came down and tried to take over Dragon Throne, whatever, whatever, and his powers got stuck into a ring. I put that into it. I put that in the book as well. I have a lot of things in there that I have in, insurance against certain people. Mythic, on the other hand, has fought tooth and nail on everything he can do and everything he can do versus everything that I can do. And at the end of the day, whatever. As long as he don't go overboard, I don't care. That's the
Leo.
only way, only way I can keep him happy, keep the roster happy, and without having to um lose any sleep over it.
Well, from Mr. Leo Blade himself, Corey's still making things about him, huh?
Oh, oh Lord, here we go with Mr. Blade. Mr. Blade, I'm glad you're here because, like I said before, I heard your little story time thing, and I was going to say something about it during, I was going to do this whole big um video and whatever. I'm glad you're here because I remember things a little differently. I remember I was out with suspension and I was injured, and I met a little young rookie kid named Leo Blade that was making his way in as well. Now, yes, we had his debut match was against me, and he beat me. We our 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 careers went two separate ways. And he was right about one thing. I was unsure of my future. My faction had left, and I had nowhere to go. And if you remember correctly, whoever bought my contract is the one I worked for. And it wasn't him that bought my contract. It was Gamer Girl Angie. Fuck guy. Remember that? Remember that we came to you with the idea of making a group, and I will give him credit. He taught me how to be a heel even more than I was because I saw him want something and take it. And I was a little laid back at the time. So, yes, I'll give him credit for that. But saying that you created the monster, the destroyer, nah, bro, we didn't do any of that. I learned all of that after I left. While you stayed and became a big fish in a small pond, I became a monster in a sea of sharks. And I watched you. I saw your empire. You did everything you said you was gonna do. However, you forget that I was the roadblock from anybody trying to take any title from you. You remember those labors of Leo? I'm sure Omar does, because I was the reason why he didn't get a title shot against you. So coming up, like I said, you're one of my greatest rivals. We have a lot of history. Try not to disappoint because I know I won't.
I will say, Mr. Leo Blade has been definitely making a statement in IWA. That is no doubt about it. He says
Hmm.
that is a fact. That is also a fact, and I appreciate that.
I will say this: Leo Blade is One of the reasons why Frost is the way he is, because like I said, it was a young guy coming in. I joined one of the top heel factions at the time. Now the whole heel faction left, and I had nowhere to go, and I had no direction. So yes, I decided to just get lost in the shuffle. And then when Gamer Girl Angie Buckeye bought my contract, uh, a light bulb went off in my head, and I needed to do something different. And I watched Leo Blade, and I watched what he was doing. And yes, I joined him. A lot of people didn't like my idea. A lot of people didn't like my idea. But what could they do? And at the time, we were the shit. We had the world title, the IC title, the women's championship, all in the same faction. Nobody could touch us. Certain circumstances happened, I had to leave. But as soon as I left, Leo stepped up and became. I don't. You know what? I'm gonna correct myself. He didn't become a big fish. He became a Moby Dick whale. He became the shit. The show became the Leo Blade show. I watched all of that, but at the same time, I traveled the world and became the monster, the destroyer that I become. And at Wrestle Kingdom, we finally figured we finally meet, and we finally gonna figure out which one of us is the bigger monster. Because you call yourself a devil, I call myself a monster. This is gonna be a good match. But
He's
before we can do that, have to get past best in the world. Good luck Sunday, kids, because you're gonna need it. Both
he
of you.
said, "All right, monster. See you at Best in the World, boss."
Yep. And believe me, the ladies are not done either. The ladies are not done because let me see you guys in on another little thing that even Leo can agree with. Athena was never part of BTK at the beginning. She came from us. She was born and raised and trained in the Dragon Pro dojo. Her and Kyla have history. Kyla is one of her teachers, her instructors, and Athena left Dragon Pro and became exactly what she is today, a diva, a championship person. You're welcome. I did that for you, just like we agreed.
Strong words. Yep, he said, yep, she grew in DPW. That's a fact.
And she has become a top tier superstar, regardless of wherever she goes. She also became a big fish, a big shark in a small pond. And I'm glad that they both came to Dragon Pro because not just the fact that Frost and Leo Blade. This is what I do. I look at people and I look at my championship and I look at who should put their name on my championship to make that championship mean something. Rob Anderson, Damian Graves, Jack Graves, Leo Blade, Wildman, Eddie Walker, Insidious, Mythic. Those are names you want on your championship. Those are people who you want to say that they had their name on your title to make their title relevant. And that's what I try to do. I try to make my championship relevant. So when people hear that this person has a title and they beat this person for that title, that means they earned that shit. And I don't make it easy for people to win titles. Everybody can agree to that.
No title shot should be easy to get to. The chase is the fun part, but the hard part is getting to the end of the road.
I 100% agree on that one.
Now, freaking, that was most of my questions. Oh, of course. I never really got to ask you when we were talking about DPW. I think I should have asked this sooner. Can you tell me the pay-per-views you usually have most of the time, each time?
Well, most of the time, so my big four pay-per-views are obviously Best in the World, Wrestle Kingdom. In the summer we have Heat Wave, which is a new one I'm gonna do. Um I forgot the name of the last one. I'm not gonna lie to you. So we're gonna go with like Wave. Then we do like a Thanksgiving show. That's kind of like my Survivor Series kind of thing. We have a Christmas show, and then we do like we rinse and repeat after that. But Best in the World, Wrestle Kingdom, The Asylum, which is like my lockdown kind of every match is in a cage, Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber, or a War Game kind of deal. Um, Basically, it's whatever. Uh, I have an idea, I bring it to the administration, we talk about it, we vote on it, and then we take it from me. Everything I do is a vote inside my app. I don't do anything without consulting them. Uh and I'll make sure before I say or do anything, everybody responds on what I'm doing, unless they don't respond within a timely manner.
Understood. What is the significance of the championships you have?
So the significance. Okay, so here's the deal. So in the beginning, I had the world title, and then I moved that over to Titans. I had the Universal Championship. I moved that over to Chill Out. So I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to have something original, something that was like something that said Dragon Pro, and the Canyon Queen of Dragons obviously was like a great name. The KOD, the Queen of Dragons, um, those are my top 10 features. Um, I had the secondary ones were, I mean, people had Intercontinental. They had the open weight because I had the open weight at one point. The All Star titles was something that was supposed to be on the redeemed list, but I like having um, internet championship as the redeem because I'm on the internet. It's the internet show. You want to redeem for it? There you go. So the international championship was something I had as well. I I uh, I unified the All Star and the international championship to create the All Star International Championship, and those two because I feel like the All Star International Championships for the men and women are like that 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 should be anybody from any promotion, any walk of earth, 'cause it's international. You know, anybody can go for that title if they're here. If you come into Dragon Pro, you wanna touch your medal. You think it, and there's this thing that people say that it's not what you do any other place, it's what you do here. I don't I don't 100% agree on that because when I bring people in the Dragon Pro that are known, I look at everything that they've done. Like I'm not gonna put you in a rookie situation if I know that you're a multi-time champion in like four different places. Like your name carries weight, you know. So when you come into Dragon Pro, I might stick you. I want to see what you do. You know, I want to see where I can put you. Rookies, new people, obviously they got to work their way up. And the internet, you know, the hard the Tokyo Death Match, which good luck with that one. Those matches um are designed to hone your craft, hone your skills, see where you go. Then when you're ready to step up and move up to the other titles, even with the junior heavyweight titles, my cruiserweight, I expect a lot out of all of them. I expect a lot out of all of my talent. But, it's always fun.
It's awesome. Glad that you do have
Absolutely.
fun with it. That's the most fun and
Yeah,
part fact about this. It's a game about having fun, making connections and memories.
absolutely. And talking shit at the same time.
Yes. Uh, well, I think this is where we will approach the final question I have, since I have gone through just about everything I could think of when it comes to question wise. Legacy.
My legacy, you know what? My legacy is basically this: whether you like me or you don't like me, respect what I did, respect what I brought to the table, and at the end of the day, have fun. That's it. That's all I want you to do. All I want my legacy to be is respect what I brought to the table, because regardless of what anybody can say, I brought a lot to the table when it came to the defense stuff. Like, I learned what to do, what not to do. I show people what to do and what not to do. I may be liked, I may be disliked. At the end of the day, I don't care. It's a game, and I want to be known for the person that had fun and didn't give a fuck about what anybody had to say. And you know what? It took me 5 long years to figure that out.
And you've
And that's it.
definitely had a journey through it.
Yes, there's a lot of things I haven't touched on, but those are like, I don't really talk about stupid stuff, like that, because it's in the past. I leave it in the past. I focus on the future, the here and now, and I want everybody to have fun. I want everybody to like what I do. I want everybody to like their positions of where their PAWs are. I want people to enjoy themselves, you know, and you know, just be cool with each other. I've seen a lot of dumb shit during my time doing this. I have lost friends. I have lost close people over this dumb shit, and I'm done. I'm tired of all of that. Like, there's been times where I wasn't cool with the people, and people wasn't cool with me, But at the same time, we have all men bridges. We all having fun. When people start taking this shit too damn seriously, that's when you know it's time for you not to do it. You gotta have fun with it, and just that's all I want to do. I just want to have fun and just fuck it. That's all. Have fun.
Well said, sir. Well said. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
And I appreciate you coming on here, answering the questions, and going through the story with me. We hope to have you on here again in the future for future stuff. Maybe even do a fun card like that you have coming up, Best in the World. Maybe we could probably go over with the other GMs or something. Would be fun with that. I am excited to see the draft that you have. Go check out DPW, everyone, if you haven't. Mr. Davis, you have yourself a nice day, sir.
if you're not doing anything tomorrow evening, when I get the whole match card set up, I'll run the match card and then we can go over it tomorrow.
Wow, that would be an honor. I'm down to fit that in. Freaking, let's
I
definitely plan for that.
I know we talked about you because I heard you talk about everybody else. I know we touched on it too, but any predictions, anything that I give you the green light like everybody else to do whatever. I got your logo. I'm gonna promote your show. I like what you do, uh, and you are a great help for the East community. You brought together a lot of people. I have always enjoyed your work, and yeah, it's been a long time, and you're not gonna see the last of me on here, bro. We're gonna have this going on.
Well, I appreciate all that, Mr. Davis. It is a true honor. As long as it helps everybody else, that's what matters to me. I like helping out others, and as long as it helps y'all out, that's what matters to me. And I'm glad that you have formed relationships from this, and I hope for more in the future, and I can't wait to see where things go in the future. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely, sir. Well, you have a good night. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I gotta get going. I got a show to get ready for and a stuffy a Mets card to get out. I will holler at y'all later. So as always, stay tuned. You're not gonna want to miss this.
Indeed. Have yourself a nice day, sir.
All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the interview with Mr. Davis. Hope everybody has a great time and hope they enjoyed the live. This will be up on YouTube with the interview from yesterday. Peace out.